back to 613 Lift here in the nation's capital, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm Tim Walsh of Vanilla Gorilla. We're going to be taking you through a pretty awesome arm routine that I whipped up last night. So, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, Paul and I are training together again today, so that's Jack Santa 68. Because Paul is less than 4 weeks out from his bodybuilding show, we're keeping the arm workout today specifically on the low end volume-wise, but it's still going to be pretty high intensity. Now, truth be told, even in the off-season when calories are high and we're both bigger and heavier and stronger, I'm not a big fan of moving specifically heavy loads for bicep and tricep training. I would much prefer to keep the load moderate and chase the pump. We want lots of blood volume, lots of muscle fiber recruitment. That's the secret to getting really big arms. If you go into the gym every day training arms thinking, okay, I'm going to curl as heavy as I can, or I'm going to do the heaviest skull crushers I can, you're not going to wind up with big arms. You're going to wind up with elbow issues and you'll be popping ibuprofen like Tic Tac. So pay close attention. Today's going to be intense. It's going to be really, really fun. And this would be a workout that if you were definitely more on the intermediate to advanced side, so maybe 2 years plus training, this would be right up your alley, whether you were dieting or you were calorie surplus. So here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1, it's gonna be no tricks, nothing fancy. We're just gonna do a straight 3 by 12 reps with this Vulcan tricep extension piece. It's really cool. It's got 2 different little loops here so you can vary your grip slightly. It's almost like having 2 separate ropes. Very user-friendly. So if you pay close attention, it's gonna be full range of motion, nice big stretch, full contraction. Moderate load. We're just after a dirty pump and lots of blood flow and get the elbows a little greased up.
Exaggeration, like down all the way up.
Yeah, nice big, come up into that full stretch and then drive through. And basically what you want to do is ask yourself, right down at the bottom here, just ask yourself, am I really flexing my triceps as hard as I possibly can? Overdo the stretch, overdo the contraction, can't screw that up. Before anybody starts asking in the comments section, I've torn this tricep and I've torn both biceps. So I'm not like a mutant. I used to have normal looking biceps and triceps, but I've torn both of these, torn this guy. This is my only untorn, and I'll probably tear it shooting this video now, and it's worth noting none of those injuries happened in the gym. Okay, so what's coming up next? Now that we've got some synovial fluid in the elbow joint, it's warmed up, tricep, all three heads, pump full of blood, they're now looking for work. We're gonna jump into our first real serious exercise. It's gonna be a two-hand dumbbell overhead extension or a two-hand dumbbell French press, depending on how old you are. We're gonna do 2 straight sets, 10 to 12 reps, to try and figure out what's gonna be a good start load for our final set or our top set, and that's gonna be a drop set. So we'll go to failure, immediate load reduction, and then go to failure again. That'll be the third set. We're gonna do 2 sort of feeder sets to get ready for that. Just kind of really feel for that deep stretch. This is awesome for getting the long head of your tricep. So you want to really feel for that deep stretch and then full contraction. Every time you drive up, same thing. Just ask yourself, am I flexing my triceps as hard as I can? Good, squeeze at the top. Overdo the stretch, overdo the contraction. Okay, so probably worth mentioning, as these workouts go along, some of them are pretty long. I think the video we shot yesterday, even after we cut it all down, was like 46 minutes long. We won't show all the feeder sets all the time. I'll stay in the habit of sort of telling you what the workout is, what the exercise selection is, rep ranges, that kind of thing. But a lot of times we'll cut out some of the feeder sets and just show you the exciting stuff. You're gonna see this last feeder set, but then we'll jump right to the top set. And then generally speaking, if it seems like we must have skipped over some stuff, we did, just so that you're not watching the less interesting stuff. So we may skip over some of the stuff and just get to the good stuff. Okay, so we're going to failure with the 70 and then failure with 55. Sometimes you gotta fail to succeed. right, here we go. Big and strong, big and strong. Big, good. Big stretch, try it out. Up, good. Keep them coming. Up, good. You say when. Okay. Nice. 4, 3, 2, good. One more time. Yeah. Here we go. I'm just going to stay with you. And we'll get some force drop. Good. Up, good. That doesn't hurt a bit. Good. Up. 7, 6, come on, you already yourself. 5, 4, good, deeper stretch. Up, good, 2 more. Up, one more time, raise the top. Up, nice. Got it. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is a standard skull crusher or lying tricep extension. We're gonna do 1 feeder set, 10 reps, and then based on how that set feels, we'll either keep that load or maybe make a slight load increase for our top set. Now our top set, I'm just gonna explain it now and then I'll just do it and you'll understand because it's gonna look kind of weird. In the top set, I'm gonna bring the bar down to the bridge of my nose like a traditional skull crusher until I can barely lock one out. And then what I'm gonna do is start to add 3 forced eccentrics for myself. So I'm gonna come down as slowly as I can to the bridge of my nose, and then you'll see I'm gonna roll it back and kind of throw it to the top. Technically that's cheating, but I'm not concerned about the concentric portion anymore because I will have reached concentric failure. What I'm after is forced eccentrics. So I'm gonna do 3 extra reps where it's as slow down as I can control it, then I'm gonna throw it back up and then control it back down. It's gonna look kind of weird, but there's a method to my madness. So what's going to happen here, when Paul runs out of gas, when he doesn't think he can get another good concentric rep, he's going to start coming down super slow, and then he's going to roll the bar back behind the top of his head and throw it up so that he can get another controlled eccentric. Here we go. This will be the first one. Toss it up. Good, and then slowly, 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 slowly. Good. Another one. Up. Good. Now as slow as you can stand it, and then just drop that bar behind your head. There's nothing to land on. Good. So you're always stronger, and this is absolutely true for all exercises, you're always stronger on the eccentric portion than you are on the concentric portion. So once you run out of gas concentrically, there's always some extra fuel in the tank eccentrically. Now what we could have done, this probably would have been a little bit safer since we're both here, is he could have done his first very slow eccentric, and then I could have just lifted it back up for him. I like to do these when I'm training by myself, so I sort of cooked up this variation where I kind of cheat it back up, because otherwise, A, I got to trust somebody with my own nose that I don't know, or maybe B, I won't get to do it at all. So it's an advanced technique. I'm not recommending that you do it. If you have a training partner, just get them to lift it back up, but I wanted you to see what this looks like when I do it by myself. Okay, so in the interest of both high intensity and low volume, the third exercise is going to be a fat grip tricep press down, and we're only doing one set. Elbows are nice and greased up. We got tons of blood in the triceps. We're hot, we're ready to go. So what we're going to do is take a good educated guess based on loads that we use when we normally do press downs. We're going to do one cluster set. So similar to the cluster set you saw in yesterday's leg training video, with one variation, it's going to be a shorter break, only 15 seconds instead of 20 seconds. So I'm going to leave one rep at the tank, maybe two. Paul's going to count me off a 15-second break. I'll go back at it. I'll leave one rep in the tank. Paul will give me another 15-second break, and then I'll go till I die. One set. So also you'll notice I threw, these are called fat grips. If you've never seen them before, they're fantastic. The difference, when you change the circumference of your grip, you get just a very different feel and much better muscle fiber recruitment in both the triceps and the biceps. So if you've never used fat grips before, take any of your favorite tricep and bicep exercises, throw the fat grips onto whatever handle you're used to using, and immediately you'll feel the difference. I wouldn't go so far as to say you should never use a regular circumference ever. After that, mix it up, bounce back and forth, get the best of both worlds. You ready, buddy?
Ready when you are.
All right. stretch, overdo the squeeze. That's it. Nice. Good squeeze, buddy, good squeeze. Feet on, block rolling. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 7. Nice, big stretch. Crush that stretch. Attaboy. Squeeze. Squeeze. Nice. Love it. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. Come on, be hard on yourself. Squeeze, good. There you go, buddy. Every time. Hard as you can. Hard as you can. Drive. Try it again. Again. Come on. 3 more. Your knee. Come on. Good again. Squeeze. Nice. One more time. Hit it. Hold it. Nice. Carrying on with the theme of low to moderate volume, high intensity, and a dirty, dirty pump, we're only going to do, our first exercise is going to be barbell 21s. We're going to use the fat grips. We're only doing 2 rounds of this. That should be more than sufficient to get tons of blood into the biceps and get every muscle fiber lit up and looking for work. So there's one thing that's worth mentioning. I do my barbell 21s a little bit differently than the traditional way. Usually the way a lot of people do it is they do the top half and then they do the bottom half and then they do full range of motion. I'm a bigger fan of top 7, full range of motion 7, and then bottom 7. The reason being, once you start to run out of gas, and these are tough, if you finish with full range of motion and you're overtaxed, you're gonna have to cheat to get them. So it makes more sense, I think, to do the full range of motions in the middle, where you can do them with absolute control, and then leave the third and final 7, where it's just bottom range of motion, because that's where you're strongest in the movement anyway. Well, technically that's not true. Technically you're weakest in the bottom, but it's easiest to control if you only have to go halfway. If your brain is thinking, I gotta get all the way to the top and I'm exhausted, you're gonna start to do this, and we're not interested in that. So worth mentioning, On our all barbell curl variations, when people get tuckered out, they have a tendency to let the elbow start to drift back, especially if their brain is thinking, okay, I got 3 more reps to do. They'll start out with good intentions, good posture, elbows forward, which keeps the load in the bicep. But when they start to get tired out, they'll start to do this. And that takes load out of the bicep, puts it in the anterior delt. It's not worth it. Stay strict. Scapula set back and down, elbows slightly forward. That's where you get your big stretch, big squeeze, big biceps. So exercise number 2 is a seated, ultra strict tandem hammer curl. So good strong posture, chest up, scapula fully retracted. You just lay your elbows against the knee pads here. Squeeze up, hold for a microsecond, let gravity pull you into a full stretch, and then squeeze and hold. And your job is basically, when you get to the top of the contraction, ask yourself, am I really flexing my biceps and my brachialis as hard as I can? So we're looking for, I'll get 8 to 10 reps here. Lots of time under tension. I'm only gonna do this twice. You'll probably only see one of them. Okay, so third and final bicep exercise is gonna be a barbell preacher curl. We're only doing 2 sets here. The first one's gonna be a straight set of 8 reps, nice and strict. The final set will be a set to failure plus 3 forced eccentrics. So I'll end up going first. I'm gonna have Paul follow me until I know I'm not gonna be able to get another concentric rep. And then like we did with the tricep extension, I'm gonna start going down as slow as I can. He's gonna bring it back to the top for me. I'll do another slow eccentric and then another, so 3 total. It's worth mentioning the reason we're doing preacher curl as a third exercise and not sooner in the workout, and I never do them early in the workout. This exercise, as great as it is, it does put the bottom half of the bicep, especially where the bicep tendon inserts, puts it in a precarious position because it's such a deep stretch. So it's not a great idea to do these heavy ever. You want a moderate load, something you can absolutely control so you don't tear up your elbows. I hate asteroids.
But in T-Rex voice.
I hate asteroids. I'm a T-Rex. Okay, bud, here we go. Okay, so once again, thanks so much everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed today's arm workout. We did triceps first, then we did biceps. We kept the intensity pretty high and the volume pretty low. And I would like to drive home the point again, especially when it comes to arm training. Don't be concerned about using heavy loads. Use moderate loads and move them very, very well. Be a control freak, chase the pump. That's how you get your arms to grow. It's been an absolute blast hanging out with you guys. Please like and comment below what you'd like to see in the next video. And I think if you click, there's like a little, I'm new here to YouTube, there's like a little bell that if you click, it lets you know when we make new videos, and we're gonna do that all the time. So like, share, and subscribe. Come back and check us out tomorrow. Thanks.
Hey guys, Chelsea again. Just a big thanks to 613 Lift and the morning crew this morning. We had an awesome time shooting and it was super nice to see everybody. Big shout out to Paul for being such a good sport. We always love hanging out with you. Everybody can find us at vanillagorillacrew.ca. Our website and merch line officially launches on November 1st, and you can also find us on Instagram at Vanilla Gorilla Crew. Also, big thing, please be sure to let us know if there's content you'd like to see in the future. We'll get right on it. Thanks so much for your ongoing support. We're stoked to provide this content to you, and we'll see you on the flip.